Welcome back to Luxury Cruising. I'm your host, Krystal Sodaitis, and as promised on our last episode with Rebekah and Ben, they're back to tell us about their amazing March trip on the Norwegian Luna. Rebekah, Ben, thank you again for joining me. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this interview. Please remind the audience anything you want them to know about you.
Hi, we're Ben and Rebekah Guillow. We are a married couple. We are travel agents, and we both also have side gigs that we work on during the day. So I'm an anesthesiologist by day, and Ben is a school administrator by day. But we live to travel, and someday maybe travel will be our whole business, our whole life, hopefully. And we met on vacation, so it's been a part of us since the beginning. We also have a YouTube channel that we follow our own travels mostly with us and our kids because we like to try to inspire people that people are afraid to take their kids on fancy stuff. And guess what? People at fancy stuff, they love your kids. So bring them on. They're going to have a great time.
I love that. And we'll definitely link that previous show in the show notes because I think we talked a lot about like the benefits of taking your kids on a luxury travel experience. So definitely look for that in the show notes. So I do not know the Norwegian line as well. And so I just love to get a little bit of a broader view. So the Norwegian Luna is a Prima Plus class ship. And so what is it about the Prima Plus class? I don't even know if we want to talk about the Prima class and then what makes one plus. But just give us some background.
Yeah. Okay, so Norwegian is the inventor, if you will, of freestyle cruising. And so they started building kind of mega ships around 2010. The first was the Epic, which is its own class and its own thing. Then they started building ships called the Breakaway and the Breakaway Plus class ships. And that's sort of the Epic and those ships are where they introduced their concept of the Haven, which is a ship within a ship concept similar to other lines have. And then after that, they made a Prima class of ship. And the Prima class has a haven also, but it's larger and it's in a different location than what's in what we would call the breakaway class of ship. So in the breakaway class of ship, the haven's in the front. Prima class ship, the haven is in the back. And then the ship itself in the Prima and the Prima Plus class has a totally different appearance or design. I feel like it's a shorter and a more streamlined ship. And then when a lot of other lines were going for like giant, Norwegian made Prima. It was actually a smaller ship than all of their previous ships. So not the tiniest, but much smaller than the Breakaway, the Escape, the Joy, all of that. So they actually were kind of scaling back on the full team and then increasing their size of their suite product. That's one thing that kind of differentiates the Prima class of ship from their other class of ships. And then the Prima Plus class is the Aqua, which came out in 2024, which we went on spring break for that. And then the Luna, which just debuted March 27th of 2026. And the difference is that those are a little bit larger than the Prima class, but they're still not giant ships. So they hold about 4,000 passengers. And I think the plain Prima class hold like 3,500 passengers overall, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But then the luxury part of Norwegian cruising is the Haven, which we've tried suites on several different lines. The Haven is one of the better suite products out there because it is truly like a separate area of the ship. So you could spend your whole day inside of the Haven and not leave. It has a restaurant. It has its own bar and lounge area. And then it has a pool area. And then not on every ship, but most of them have some spa amenities. So the Prima and the Prima Plus class have like a salt room, a sauna, and a couple other small things like that that are all inside of the Haven complex. So theoretically, you could do a lot of that stuff without leaving the Haven at all.
So there's a spa for everybody else.
Yes.
And that they get their facials, their massages, and their nails done and whatever. And maybe there's like some heated loungers. And then there's like a mini spa in the Haven that you can go and get yourself like steam room and all that. And you don't have to leave your little enclave there.
Yeah. No, it's all included. So yeah, you don't have to pay extra for those. It's nice, relaxing. And those, at least in the Prima Plus, are in an adults only area. So if you're looking to get away from kids, you want to relax, those are an adults only area on the Prima Plus.
And that adults only area, is that the Vibe Beach Club?
No, that's a separate area. So you could also theoretically buy a Vibe Beach Club pass. That is open to everybody on the ship, and you just pay a weekly pass for that. But the Haven has its area with the pool, which is open to everyone in the Haven. And then it has another adult only sun deck. They do count adults as 16 plus. So you could experience like teenagers up there. But on the Prima Plus class ships, that's where the Haven hot tubs are. So the hot tubs are child free on these ships in the Haven.
Awesome. That sounds really, really great. I love that. Okay. Yeah. So we're talking about the Haven in general on the Prima Plus class ships.
Yeah. So the Haven has a restaurant that's open for every meal, and you have included room service in the Haven. You also have your own normal room steward, and then they do have twice daily turned on service. Like you used to have in all cruising, but you don't as much anymore. But in the Haven, you do have it twice a day. You have a butler who's available 24/7. At night, the butlers take turns, so your own butler might not be available, but someone will respond to you 24 hours a day. And then the concierge team that's available to you, which is usually on this size of ship, one main concierge and then 2 or 3 assistant concierges. So that desk is not open 24 hours a day, but on a port day and whatever, they're available immediately. I actually have a funny story from this trip. We were with our in-laws, but they were in a separate room, and we were getting ready to go on an excursion early in the morning. And one of our kids ran off with Ben's parent, and we didn't realize he had taken his ship card with him. So then we were in a major hurry to go on this excursion. We're tearing apart the room, can't find it. So Ben's like, we're just going to call and see what we can do. And we called the concierge, and he was like, no problem. You can leave right now. We met him downstairs in the meeting area with the concierge. He showed up with all new ship cards for our whole group. And it was like 5 minutes or less. It was unbelievable.
It was crazy.
We thought we were going to miss the excursion, but he took care of it. It was amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's exactly what you need. Like, you just get it taken care of. There was no like, oh my gosh, we got to get in line and get services. And yeah, you would have completely missed the excursion. Oh, I love that.
We would have. Crazy.
And a lot of the other perks I like too are just when you're in port and you're going on an excursion, you get priority debarkation. So, there could be a long line waiting to get off at a popular port. The butler takes you right out. You get out before everybody. It's super nice.
Yeah, I love that. So for the Norwegian Luna, just the ship in general, what does it have that might be different from the Norwegian Aqua? That was the first Prima Plus class, right?
Yeah.
How did they change it? Did they make any improvements? How does it differ, if at all?
One improvement that my kids really enjoyed, and this is going to sound kind of silly, but the Aqua slide on the Aqua, you had to go through the buffet to get to it. And it was just kind of weird. You'd be wet walking through the buffet, going to the Aqua slide, and you don't have to do it now.
Yeah, they fixed that on this one. They also made a new area. It's called the Moon Climber. It's included, and it is kind of like if you've ever been to like a kid's indoor play place, and it has those things you can climb on, kind of like a jungle gym, but it's like a big jungle gym thing on the back of the ship that's included for kids. And pretty much all heights can do it as long as you have an adult with you. That's new on this ship. And then I don't think a lot else is much different.
It looked about the same. I can't think of anything else.
Yeah.
And the Aqua Coaster, from what I've seen of it, it's basically like a roller coaster, but instead of being in a little car, it's you in the water that's like shooting through tubes.
Yeah.
Our kids love it. One of the perks of the Haven too, so that line gets really long for it. There is a line for the Haven members that you can cut.
That's fast we're talking here.
Yeah.
Fast pass.
I don't know if the Aqua has it or not. It does. Okay. We just didn't know. So anyways, if you're on the Aqua, use it.
Yeah. There's a Haven line.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, the kids love that. It's super convenient because that line can get really long and it's a fun ride. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Awesome. So what about any differences, upgrades between the Haven and you may have already said, but just to solidify it, Haven upgrades or improvements in the Luna compared to the Aqua?
I think the Haven itself was almost the same.
Yeah, it looked identical.
Yeah.
If you didn't know you were on that ship, you couldn't tell the difference.
And we actually accidentally booked the exact same room. Like, not just the same room type.
What number? Exactly the
Yeah,
same.
same number.
Yeah. 14806. Yeah. When I looked at the reservation, I was like, oh, this is the old one. And then I was like, oh no, we just actually booked the same room. So it was like we're on the same cruise.
Yeah, which is like going home. I have definitely had the experience of preparing, like mentally, I'm thinking about going on a cruise. And there's just something about like the temperature of the room, the smell of the air, the feel of the ship rocking. And at this point, I'm like, that's like home. I just can't wait to like sleep in my little like second home. It feels so good. So fun. Yeah, it's amazing. All right, so getting onto the ship, and I've never been on a Norwegian ship at all. So tell us, what is the decor like? What's the ship in general? And then move to the Haven.
So they have kind of like more muted tones. Like the atrium on these ships has like white railing and it's open. There's nothing like glittery or gaudy on it. And I know that vibe doesn't bother me either, but it has a very kind of like muted modern look. And then it actually has quite a bit of interesting art in it. They have a lot of like really pretty wall decorations that are 3-dimensional and things like that. I feel like on this ship, maybe a little different than the Aqua, similar but different. They really put a lot of effort into the aesthetic of it. I feel like the art was beautiful, and we're not big art people, but it was very nice to look at. And then like the Haven itself is a little bit dark on this ship. It has kind of dark wood tones on the walls. And the best thing in the Haven on these two ships is the bar, because a lot of Haven bars are set up like a standard bar where there's bartenders on one side and then people on the other. These are set up in the round. So the bartenders are working in a circle. Yeah, and all the people are sitting around it. And we are actually not the most friendly vacation friend makers, but every time I went and sat at the Haven bar, you end up talking to someone. The way that it's set up, it's so conducive to making friends and being friendly. That's my favorite thing in there. And that has a really nice look. And then also the lounge is so large on this ship that there's all kinds of cute little vignettes where you can sit. And that also, I guess, if you wanted to make friends, you could make friends that way too, because there are little places to sit and kind of meet other people. So I like that about it.
Yeah, the Haven's much bigger than on the breakaway class ships. It never feels crowded.
No.
The lounge area is so big. The bar is big. The pool decks are big. Like if you're on the breakaway, I do feel like it gets crowded, especially like on embarkation day. I always feel like it's jam packed there on embarkation day on breakaway class. And these, it never is. No. Sometimes you'll feel like you're the only person in there.
We did at the pool a lot.
Yeah.
We were the only people.
Yeah, the pool. There was nobody at the pool hardly any days on the
Yeah.
ship. It was crazy. Kids were the only ones in there playing on a lot of days. So it was nice.
Yeah. And you had said the last time too, like that's one of the perks that you loved about being on Sweet Sun Deck is like there's not a lot of people in the pool. Like it's basically kids get their own private pool on Sweet Sun Deck, which is great.
Yeah. No, if you look at our pictures on our Instagram, our kids are the only one in there.
Yeah.
There's not cropping people out or anything.
It's not like we deleted people.
Which I would, but like felt like we did because there were several times my daughter's just floating in the pool by herself and there's no one there.
Right. Your own private ship pool. Who could beat that? Amazing.
And it looks out the aft on this ship, so you're like looking out the wake and it's an infinity edge pool. It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds absolutely gorgeous. Anything different in terms of the food? I mean, just tell us about the food in general.
The food in general is always very good in the Haven. We both like the Haven restaurant. We eat there several times on it. There were a few changes to the menu. There were a couple dishes that we liked that they took off, so that was a little disappointing. But there were some new things on there that were good. Like I said, we eat there a lot. We really do enjoy the restaurant.
And if you compare it to some other, we have not done Celebrity Retreat. We're getting ready to later this summer, but they have a different menu every day. The Haven has the same menu for breakfast, the same menu for lunch, and the same menu for dinner every day. So some people would say that's a drawback. I think one good thing about it is that they're doing every dish well. So you almost never get a dish that you're like, nobody really thought about this one. You know, it feels like they're all executed well, and that is nice. Also, you don't have a dining time. So there's no dining times on Norwegian at all. But in the Haven, you have no dining time. So you just show up when you feel like showing up. We've actually never waited except for on embarkation day. And our last 2 Haven cruises, we didn't even wait on embarkation day. But you could theoretically have to wait a little bit on embarkation day if everybody shows up at the same time. But we've never had to wait for breakfast, lunch, dinner. You just show up and they're like, oh, come sit down over here. And they had indoor and outdoor seating. So that's nice too.
And the outdoor seating on this class of ship is much bigger. So like on the breakaway class, it's not that big. We live in some place that's cold more than half the year. So anytime we can be outside and eat outside, we love it. And the dining area out there, it's really big.
Nice. I know this is like a small detail, but I'm just wondering, like, what are the tables like? I'm picturing them as like upscale as well, not like your typical sort of like plastic chairs, plastic table, bolted down cruise line
Yeah, no,
table.
they're upscale tables. They actually have all different sizes of tables. So we have gone last 2 Haven cruises we've done as a party of 6, once with my parents and then once with his parents. They have a giant table that's like a big round table that if you had a large party, which we saw some large parties while we were there. And then they have like individual tables, but they all have tablecloths and they have all the whole table setting is set up before you get there with all the wine glasses and all the silverware. And the service is excellent in there.
It's always good.
And the chairs are nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty fancy dining room for a cruise ship.
It's so nice. And you just sort of like made me realize something, because when I was picturing it as like typical outdoor dining. Like you take your plate and you walk outside. No, you're sitting like at an outside restaurant and someone is coming and serving you. And like,
Oh, yeah.
that's fantastic.
No, they have like pergolas there and everything outside. I mean, it's very nice. And it's significantly nicer on this ship than the older Norwegian ships.
Classes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that is the perk of being on a brand new ship, is like, it's always the latest and greatest of what they've imagined. So it's beautiful. Were you on like the first or one of the first? Where in the order of sailings were you guys?
This was the first 7-day sailing. So they had a transatlantic, that was however many days it was. And then they had a couple industry sailings, like 1 night, 2 nights, whatever. And then they had a 3 or 4 night sailing, and then this one. So this was the first 7-night Caribbean sailing of the Luna.
Any like perks, any swag? They celebrated in any way?
That's a disappointing subject. The way it was marketed, that this was going to be the inaugural sailing,
Yeah.
and we thought there'd be some swag or something that they would give, and there wasn't any.
Before this had swag.
Yeah, we asked about it, and they just kind of brushed it off. And it was, like I said, that's what it was marketed as too. So
Yeah, the
who
Facebook
knows?
group, everyone thought it was going to be the inaugural sailing. I mean, I get it. They spent $1 billion on a ship. They need to get their coin. But,
Yeah.
like, I wanted something special.
Yeah. I mean, like, at least give me a hat, give me like a bag.
Yeah. You could have bought it. Now, they did have like inaugural sailing shirts for sale, but you know, I'm not a big t-shirt wearer, so I'm not going to buy one. If you give me one, I'll take it, but I'm not going to go buy it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. So where did you go, and any excursions? You mentioned sort of like priority disembarkation, embarkation, but was there anything about the experience of the excursions that was up-leveled because you were in the Haven?
Not because we were in the Haven. I think all 3 excursions we did, we enjoyed, but not because we were in the Havens. 4 excursions, I'm sorry.
We did go to Norwegian's other private island because they have Great Stirrup Cay in the Bahamas. We went to Harvest Cay, and they did not have a separate Haven area, but we did rent a beach villa there. It was totally worth it.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about that. I love a nice luxury villa. Tell us.
Yes, we've also done it at Silver Cove on Great Stirrup Cay. I think you like that one better. I like the one better on Harvest Cay. So I guess when you get off, they pick you up in a golf cart. After you check in, the golf cart takes you over there. The gentleman takes you to your cabana, beach house, beach villa, and then they show you everything around it. It was great. So you go in, there's a couch, a refrigerator. This one didn't have a TV. I don't know whoever uses their TV, but there is one at Great Stirrup Cay. There is a TV in there, but this one did not have that. It has a huge deck on it. I think there were 4 lounge chairs on the deck. Then you have the beach. On the beach, you have your own private hammock. and then there were 6 beach chairs on the beach, and it's just a 50-yard walk
Yeah,
to the
right there.
ocean. I mean, it's great. Great Strip K, it's a much longer walk, kind of down a hill.
Yeah.
You had 50 yards and you were in the water. Service was good.
Yeah.
You could order food, drinks. The waitress came around
All the time.
all the time. So, I mean,
Not in an annoying way,
no.
but she was there all the time. She was on it. And this wouldn't matter for everyone, but we were right by the lifeguard stand. That's a real win.
Oh yeah, always good. Yes, when you're traveling with kids
that
in
was
the
a real
ocean,
win
like
for us.
yes.
Yeah. And we watch our kids. Everyone on there, we're watching our kids. But
Yeah.
it's nice to have the lifeguard too.
Another set of eyes, because those kids go under in the blink of an eye in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And the lounge chairs, especially the ones up on the porch there, I mean, those were definitely elevated lounge chairs. They were very comfortable, a lot of cushioning on them. It wasn't just some cheap lounge chair. So that was nice.
Yeah, not just like the chaise lounges with like a little plasticky cover on
Yeah,
it.
it was
or
not like
the
that at
hard
all.
plastic chaise lounges.
I like this.
Yeah, so nice upscale, pillowy lounges on the deck. It's always nice. I love the cabanas that are a little bit elevated, right? So you kind of have a little bit
Yeah.
of a vista. You're looking out over the water. You can see people in the water, so you keep your eye on the kids a little bit from the water. Yeah, and you said you got food and drink. Food and drink was included?
It was not included.
No, it is in Great Stirrup Cay, but on Harvest Cay, it is not. Reportedly, some deal with the government there, but it is separate, and you pay for it with a credit card. So you can't use your ship card there because Norwegian doesn't own it, even though it's their private thing. It is a separate vendor, but the food is all really good,
Mhm.
and it's actually like really reasonably priced, honestly.
And then
Yeah.
so if you want to go somewhere else on the island, you just call the golf cart. He'll come pick you up. So there's a giant swimming pool there. Our kids want to go swimming in it. We call the golf cart. It's there in 5 minutes, takes you to the pool. They'll pick you back up when you're done. I mean, it's really nice.
That sounds nice. Yeah. But it sounds like it's almost a mini excursion that Norwegian rents from
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
Bahamians exclusively for the use of their guests, but it's still like a Bahamian resort, for lack of a better term.
Yes, you pay separate. Yeah.
Got it. That sounds awesome. Anything else on the excursions that you sort of up-leveled for this trip?
Oh, we did a couple of really crazy things for us. We did like a dune buggy thing in Honduras, and we went all the way to Chichen Itza when we were in Cozumel. So that was exciting.
That's
But yeah,
adventurous.
it was. Our kids have gotten a little older. We're about to turn 5 and 9. So I feel like we're really leveling up on our ability to do stuff instead of only go to the beach, which I like going to the beach. But it's fun to try to do other stuff with them. So that's been nice.
And then another tour we did in Costa Maya, it was to a place called Bacalar Seven Seas Lagoon. There's Lagoon.
Yeah.
And it's actually an inland lake. And it is the most beautiful blue water that you've ever seen. I mean,
Yes.
it looks like you're in the Bahamas or something,
Yeah.
except it's an inland lake in Mexico. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, they took us out in a place where it was shallow, and they cut up pineapple for us and put it on a raft and pushed it over to us. And it was a lot of fun.
It
It
was
was
a lot.
probably our kids' favorite excursion.
I think so.
Oh, what's it called? Because I'm going to Costa Maya like sometime in the next year, I think, or two. I know I've got Costa Maya on the list.
Bacalar, Bacalar Lagoon, or the Seven Colors Lagoon, and it was a great excursion. So it was about an hour drive. I mean, we rode in a van, but it was about an hour drive, and then we went out on this boat, and there's all kinds of open cenotes on this lake that you like look into, and then they take you to a swimming spot, and we swam and ate the pineapple, and it was beautiful. That video is coming out on Thursday, so check it out.
That will definitely have dropped by the time this podcast is out.
Wait,
so
yeah, there you go.
At the end of this podcast, go check out the YouTube video. Yes, awesome. Anything else about the Haven or about Norwegian Luna that we haven't covered?
Oh, there's one thing we didn't talk about.
What's that?
My favorite thing on the Prima class ships. The Haven has its own elevator bank on the ship.
Nice.
So you just go to it and put your card up, and then you go wherever you want to go. And other people don't get on it. No offense to them, but
Yeah, it makes getting around the ship
So easy.
so easy. Yeah.
yeah,
Because it can go to any floor, not just to the Haven.
that's fair.
Hmm.
On these
Well,
ships,
that's good.
the whole run of the ship in its own elevator bank. So there's 3 elevator banks on the ship. The aft one is actually the Haven elevators. And then the one they call aft is probably more midship. And then the forward elevator. So everyone else uses mid and forward. And then the Haven, you could use any elevator, but your card works in the back elevator and you just go anywhere you want to go.
Yeah, not have to wait. No elevator crowding, which is always a problem.
All right. Yeah.
That sounds
They really.
Speaking of elevator crowding, this made me think of entertainment. So how was the entertainment and any special like seating or seats or anything related to the Haven?
Yeah, a couple things about it. So on all Haven ships with the Haven, they save an area for Haven guests. It's usually a designated area. Like if you're looking at the stage, it's the front left. And the problem with this class of ship is the theater is not very big. So they hold the seats, but they don't hold them very long. It was weird because they were like, oh, you need to be here 45 minutes early. And we're like, we never come that early. We get there like 5 minutes before a show and they save the Haven seats for you. So we had like an Eagles tribute show. We went to go see that and we even got there early, like 30 minutes early, and the Haven area was full. And they were just like, sorry.
Yeah.
And
But that only runs one night. So every other show runs like multiple shows per night and then multiple nights. But that Eagle show is the cast from their bar called St. Norman's, which is also a small venue. And that's where the servers are the singers. It's kind of neat. But they do this Eagle show. It's only that one night. So I guess that was why there was like a run on it.
Yeah.
But they had all new shows on this ship. So they have a Welcome Aboard show, which is only one night, but that's easy to go see. And then they have the Eagle show one night. Then they had a show that they made called Heiko, which is some sort of like dancey technology thing. So it has one of those giant screens in the back, and like there's a lot of interaction between the characters and the screen.
our kids loved
The
it.
kids loved it.
Wasn't our jam.
It was neat though. You could see why it was neat.
Yeah, I do love, just like take a little sideways kids and cruising tangent, is that it's a very safe way, safe when I mean like economically, emotionally, all that, way to introduce live theater to kids.
Our
Because,
kids
like, it
love
doesn't
the
cost you
shows.
anything. If they get
Right.
bored 15 or 20 minutes into it, you're like, okay, well, let's go.
Yeah.
It's not like you just pay $200 for a Broadway ticket. I do love that. And I have had the most surprising experiences with my kids looking over, wondering, like, are you? And they're like, "I love this." And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
So
They're so into it.
the Eagles show, they actually showed 2 shows that night. And my son and I were still up one night at 11. And Rebecca and our daughter were asleep. And he's like, Dad, let's try to go to the show. Let's sneak out and go to the show. So just like you said, so he and I left. We did find seats in the second show, but it was in the back. And now he just wants to listen to Hotel California all the time. Like anytime a song comes on, an Eagles song, he's like, Dad, that's the show we snuck out on. And
Yeah.
we saw the Eagles. I was like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
buds.
That'll be a core memory for him.
Then they
Yeah,
also have an Elton John show too. And the Elton John show was really good. Rebecca was actually the star of the show for Elton John. I'm not joking when I say this. So I don't know. They're singing and dancing at one time. The guy on the aisle comes over and he's like, oh, hey, you look like fun. You want to come dance? He's dancing with Rebecca in the aisle.
Well, first of all, I said no. But my 2 small children are there, and Ben and my in-laws like, no, do it. So then we're dancing in the aisle, and he's like, oh, let me teach you this dance. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he's like, teaching me a dance. And I'm just dancing in the aisle, and there's a spotlight, and all these people are looking, but YOLO. And then he's like, okay, let's go up on the stage. And I was like, hey, I'm good. And I was like, oh, no. So then he walks me up on the stage. So then I'm up on the stage, and these girls on the stage are like, let us teach you a dance. And then we're like, shimmying on the stage to the Elton John show. And they're like, okay, great. Here's your microphone. And I was like, what's this for? I you're about to sing.
Oh my gosh. That's something
And
that
you
needs to
sang.
go on the YouTube channel.
Oh,
We didn't video it because they said there's no videography. So we have like some live photos of it so you can get like a feel for it. So I have a short on YouTube about it. But yeah, so then it's an Elton John duet that he does with Kiki D. And thankfully I knew it, but it was crazy.
the rest of the cruise, people were coming up to, and they'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Rebecca from the show. I can't believe it. And we had multiple people are like, wait, you're not part of the show? They thought she was a plant. And she'd be like, oh, I'm just a regular mom. Like,
I can't believe you do it.
I mean, probably 20 people came up throughout the cruise and were super excited. I mean, it was hilarious.
That's awesome. I love that.
It's very fun. Yeah.
I love that about cruising too. Like I've had that experience too, or I've done something. People are like, Terry, it's you. And I'm like, I'm famous now. Everybody used to off the ship like nobody does. But that is so fun. So, anything else about the entertainment?
It was really good.
Yeah.
Like the Norwegian kind of started the Broadway entertainment years ago, like 2010 with the Blue Man Group, and then really kind of expanded it. But then they've really scaled back, and personally, I found it to be a little bit disappointing. Their shows are still good, but these shows were really good.
Yeah.
They were really good shows, nice, high quality. So hopefully, even though they're making their own shows now instead of, purchasing the rights to Broadway shows, that hopefully it's going to continue to like elevate and be good. They were really good, and I would see them all again, honestly.
Yeah, and even like the screens behind it, what they do with the screens, and it's amazing. It's really good. Check them all out.
I love a good like tribute show, like where I know the artist, sing along, and I much prefer that to some of these like loosely connected dance singing, and I might know some of the songs, but not all of them. Like they're entertaining, but I prefer like a good tribute show.
Yeah. I like it too. And I think sometimes people don't think that they know all the songs. Like Ben doesn't know as many Elton songs as I do, but you go in there and you're like, oh, I knew way more of those songs than I thought I did, because you just forgot how many songs Elton or the Eagles sang.
Yeah. We'd missed it, and it was disappointing, but at Sid Norman's Poorhouse, they had like a couple 90s rock nights that I would have liked to have seen, and those get really crowded too. If you want to go to a show there, you have to get there early, and unfortunately, there's no perks to being in the Haven for shows in Sid Norman's.
Is that included in like free at sea? I guess that's a good question too, because I know Norwegian, depending on the type of room you book, you get certain like amenities or perks free, like free Wi-Fi, a certain number of specialty restaurants. Does any of that come with the Haven?
No. So the free at sea is an add-on for anyone. So for a 7-night sailing, you get the 2 specialty dining, and you just pay a gratuity. So it's like $10 or $20 per dinner. And then the unlimited open bar, and then the Wi-Fi is 150 minutes. And that's for everybody. Oh, and a shore excursion credit is $50 per port. So that's included for everybody. And then you can increase that to get the unlimited premium drink package, which includes Veuve Clicquot by the glass. So probably worth it. Then it also includes unlimited Wi-Fi, and that can stream. Like I can upload. I don't measure speeds because I'm not that internet cool, but you can upload. Like I can upload to YouTube from their Wi-Fi now, which you did not used to be able to. It was not good for many years, but now it is. And then it also included your gratuities. So that actually the Wi-Fi, which we would get anyway for our business, and then the gratuities, it paid for itself. So not included, but it paid for itself.
But worth it. Not included, but worth the additional.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Plus you got the Veuve Clicquot, and then you also can have all the aquapana you want.
Yeah.
I took them.
I drank enough aquapana to like recover the sweet.
I did.
Stay hydrated.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So the last time you were here, you had a new definition of luxury for yourselves. And do you remember what that luxury definition was?
I think it was like a lack of friction.
It probably was ease, right? And
Yes.
having something anticipated for you. Did this meet your definition of luxury?
Oh, yeah. This was a great cruise. We had a great butler. We had a great room steward. The concierge on this ship was amazing, as was their whole staff. And I feel like they really anticipated all of our needs.
And oh shoot, Raquel.
Oh, yeah. Raquel, the guest services manager, we know her from our Aqua cruise, and she comes and visits us when we're on cruise.
And she did give us a lot of special stuff. Like, yes, so like at the meet the captain thing, like they weren't letting people take pictures with the captain.
Yeah.
Raquel was like, oh no, Guillow family, you can get your picture taken with the captain.
You get those invitations for repeat customers, and it's like, oh, come meet the captain. And It's not really that special, but my daughter saw it and was like, oh, they've invited me to meet the captain. So we go up there and, you're just in the line, they're just shaking your hand. And then we saw Raquel and she was like, oh, can I do anything for you? And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, can my daughter please get our picture with the captain? Because she thinks that she was personally invited to this. So if she listens to this podcast, I'm going to fast forward to this part. But she thought she was personally invited. So we got to go and get a picture taken with the captain. And that was a real highlight for her. And she was so excited about it. We had to cancel a dinner reservation to go. Like,
Yep.
it worked out. We went and had dinner later somewhere else. But yeah.
No, it worked out. And she helped us out on several other things. So
Raquel,
she's
great.
our favorite.
Yeah.
It's really important to, be kind to the people who are taking care of you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So you've got another fun trip coming up. Tell us all about your celebrity that's coming up.
Yeah. So we are going on our first 2 celebrity cruises this summer. The first one, we're not going in the retreat because that's just what worked out for us and the kids in the Mediterranean. But we are going on an Alaska cruise with Ben's family. Yeah, and we are staying in a celebrity suite in the retreat. So we're trying that out for the first time. So I'm super excited to do that. So we're going to get our feet a little wet with celebrity in a couple weeks. And then in the end of July, we're going to go in the retreat. And so now we'll get to compare celebrity retreat to not only the Haven, but also a little bit of Gen Pop with our next celebrity cruise, which will be our first non-suite cruise we've taken besides Disney. But it'll be our first non-suite cruise we've taken in 15 years?
A long time. We do have connecting staterooms, though. So
You've got space, which to me is also very luxurious. Like if you got
Absolutely.
space, 2 bathrooms.
Yeah, the win. Because we were going to do a retreat on that one too, but all the rooms that were available that would house the 4 of us, they didn't have like a separate sleeping area. So we were like, well, that's just expensive. It's not luxurious.
Yeah, because it's being like crammed like sardines into, 200 square feet. I don't care what label you put on it, we're luxury.
That's right. But yeah, so we have a separate sleeping space in the celebrity suite. The Solstice, which is an older ship, but did just come out of dry dock. They redid the retreat area and several of the restaurants and created some new experience areas. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing class. The Solstice class is just a beautiful class, very classic looking celebrity ship. And I've been on 2 and they're lovely.
we're really excited.
Can't wait. Hope you come back and tell us all about your original celebrity and definitely comparing and contrasting the retreat to the Haven. So
Yeah.
thanks, Rebekah and Ben. Please, we've talked about your YouTube channel and your Instagram a little bit, but just remind everyone what they're called, which we will definitely link in the show notes.
They're both called Lux Travel for Families with no E. So LUX Travel for Families, and easy to find on both. And we hope you'll like and subscribe and follow them. And contact us for your travel needs.
Absolutely. Listeners, thank you again for joining us, joining me. And until next time, I wish you safe and luxurious cruising.